What's going on, guys? I got one of my students and special guest here, Sikandar. I want to kind of tell you guys about his journey after he got started with me in the coaching program for Airbnb coaching. And we'll talk a little bit about his journey, where he's at now, what he did before, and hopefully this inspires one of you guys to take action and maybe start an Airbnb business. But Sikandar, tell them a little bit about yourself. Like, how old are you? Where were you from? And what did you do before you actually started Airbnb?
So I am 25 years old. I was born and raised in Chicago, and I have been in the Airbnb game for about 9 months now. Before Airbnb, I was working with United Airlines. I was part of their digital technology team, which I still am doing, which is the best part, able to maintain that primary source of income that I have while working on this business of the Airbnb Arbitrage. That's kind of what I was doing beforehand. And then I met Danish. I didn't know we went to the same gym, but I saw usually our gym post Instagram stories of people that tagged them, and I saw Danish, he posted on his Instagram story and he tagged the gym. And then I saw him, I'm like, who is this guy? So I clicked on his profile and I saw, all your success, all your stories, testimonials, and I've been looking to get into something for a while. So then I saw that, and I think I DM'd you right away.
Yeah.
We kind of chatted a little bit, and one thing about me is I like to take risks. I don't like to overthink too much. We were chatting, you told me a little bit about what you do, and then we hopped on a call. You walked me through everything, and from there, I took the course. You remember what I told you?
Yeah, bro. Literally on the first call that he took with me, before even he got into my program, he was like, I'm going to be one of the top students. And I'll be honest, he is probably one of my top students inside of my program. It's crazy that, he got started with me about 8 to 9 months ago. And tell them a little bit about like where you're at now. How many properties do you have now? How much revenue are you roughly doing per month? Tell them a little bit about that.
So I started off right away. Like I said, I'd like to take risks. So I got into 2 properties right away.
How long did you get your first 2 properties after like getting into the program?
I would say like 3 weeks.
Yeah, so less than a month you had like 2 properties.
Yeah, so less than a month those opportunities were presented. I obviously discussed with you, you gave me the insight, and you told me that these deals are solid. So then I pulled the trigger, got into 2 properties, and I got into another 2 properties maybe a few weeks after that. So that's 4 properties within maybe a month and a half, almost 2 months. Started off with 4 properties in the first 2 months, made a lot of mistakes. As a mentor and as a coach, you did everything that you could, and you got me into the game, and I made mistakes and I learned. Within those first 2 months, I had 4 properties, and I scaled to now 9 months later. Initially, my goal was to get 1 property a month, which is kind of crazy, but here I am 9 months in and I have 8 properties. Next month, which is going to be October, we're projected to hit around 40 to 50K.
Yeah, out of that 40, 50K revenue, how much are you projected to make in profit, roughly?
I'll probably walk away with 15 to 20K profit.
Yeah, that's fire. So literally 9 months ago, and before that, did you even know about Airbnb Arbitrage?
I did not, no.
So 9 months ago, he didn't even know what Airbnb Arbitrage was. 9 months later, we're meeting down one of my top students, and he's going to be hitting about 40 to 50K projected in the next month, which is October of 2025, with maybe about 15 to 20K profit.
Yep.
So it shows you, like, if you just take action, 1 year, like, you could start a whole new business that makes a professional income. Why did you not just go on YouTube and just keep learning about it and start on your own versus like investing into like the coaching and mentorship?
I could have done that, but I think getting on that first call with you, I'm not afraid to like ask questions and really get to know like what the course is about. That initial call, we walked through everything, and I was able to tell that like, this is something that he's not just selling, he really cares about it. And I've got to know that over the course of time that you really do care about, the students that take your course, and you coach them fully. I could have gone on YouTube, but when you're taking someone's course and you're not only paying to learn the game, but you also get the connections too.
Yeah.
So that's come a long way for me, where you've connected me to a few people that are now my business partners.
Every time like you're paying for coaching or mentorship, it's like, it's not only information you pay for, you also pay for like the network. Of people you now get to know, versus like you probably wouldn't find these people on your own.
And one good network can take you so
far. Yeah.
I got 3 units in Miami because of one connection that you set me up with.
Yeah, that's crazy. 8-9 months in, you're doing about roughly now 40K a month revenue. When you started, did you think you'd be hitting these numbers, or is it just like you took step 1 and now you're like, oh wow, I'm actually here?
I didn't think I'd be hitting these numbers, no. But at the same time, like I understand, like my discipline, my work ethic. For me personally, if I'm into something, I'm fully invested into it. When I started off with this work, made those few mistakes early on. I made a few big mistakes. So those mistakes, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna turn these into lessons and I'm just gonna keep going. Because when you fully put in the work on something, the work's gonna pay off.
At this point, like 8-9 months into the game, 8 properties, you confidently feel like you could keep selling by yourself?
Yeah, I think so. I think I can scale by myself. One thing I really enjoy about your coaching and stuff like that is, you know, you told me the course is 3 months mentorship, whatever. I would reach out to you 6 months, 7 months, 8 months later, and you'd still provide me insight. And, you know, anytime I needed help with pricing on some of my units, you're still there. So that's something I really do appreciate. But yeah, I think now 9 months into the game, I think I've made a good amount of mistakes. Still not perfect, of course, but I think I can continue to scale since I understand the game.
For sure. Better. So of course, like they're looking at you, maybe you're 25 years old, you're doing about 40K a month on Airbnb, you still have your professional daytime job. How are you managing that? Like you work a professional job, how are you still able to manage 8 properties on the side? Once
you understand the game, you don't have to put in much time. If you have proper systems in place, then you don't have to spend too much time. If something comes up, you have that system in place where you can just continue to handle specific situations on the go.
You're doing pretty well. You have an apartment at 25. You just bought a new car. What was that?
Yeah, CLE 300.
AMG, right?
Yeah.
So you just got a nice car, got the apartment, you got a job, you got a full-time Airbnb business that's making multiple 6 figures a year now projection. Yeah. Where were you before all this? Before you had the job, what was your upbringing? Because we both come from a Brown family.
Yeah.
So starting a business is not the traditional thing, especially an online business.
Yeah. So my family came here in 1998 or 99, and we were staying. I think our stories are pretty similar, to where my family. I have 3 siblings, so total 4 kids with my parents. We were staying in a single room inside of a house. We rented a room, so we were staying there and probably paying rent like $300-400 a month. At this time, my dad was in the car business, taxi and truck driving and whatnot. Just seeing my dad's hard work and his discipline. Started off there, we moved to an apartment, upgraded to a house, mortgage, then bought a house. By the time I was like 20. I've been with my family for a little bit, but just recently moved out maybe like 6-7 months ago to living alone, and now I'm able to handle everything through the financial freedom that I have.
Yeah.
And the businesses that I run.
What do you feel like are some attributes that's allowed you to have success at a young age?
I think I've always been business minded. I've always had discipline.
Do you feel like the mindset plays a big role in doing a business?
100%.
It's not even about knowing what to do. A lot of times it's just having a mindset this is long term and just knowing you're going to go through failures and not quitting in that process.
Yeah, that's one thing. And then also another thing is I'm not afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
I understand that specific people have been through something, so why not gain wisdom from them through their experience? Anytime I'm around older people, I always try to pick their brains and try to understand what they've been through, because I'm gonna go through that same thing. We all kind of go through the same thing as life progresses. I worked for Dunkin' Donuts. That's when I kind of knew I had the business mind, because at the end of the day, we throw all the donuts away.
Yeah.
So I would take those donuts. This was in high school. I'd take those donuts to school the next day, and I would sell them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I was known as the guy with the donuts. So I'd be selling them $2. I'd have deals buy 2, get them for $3. Just shit like that.
If you don't have the right mindset in business, you could get all the coaching, someone can tell you what to do, but if you're someone that gives up easily or something, it's you're not going to make a business work. Do you feel so far, a lot of the skills you've also been through with doing this business so far, do you feel it's helped you in general as well?
I feel I understand my target audience more, just understanding people, the psychological aspect. I feel I have other businesses too, just understanding how people react to specific situations.
You guys start with the coaching. What do you feel benefited you of getting through the coaching program versus if you were to go do this by yourself?
I mean, you walk me through every single thing, A to Z, and you spent a lot of time. That's the biggest thing. Anytime I needed help with something, we schedule calls. We'd be on call for hours. Also, anytime I needed help, you'd be there. I can't do that with YouTube videos.
Yeah.
If I need help in specific things like pricing, I can go on YouTube, but it's just when you're one text away, it's just a lot easier.
Yep.
And like I said earlier, you really care about every single student that's taking the course. you know, that's not something YouTube can provide.
Exactly.
You know?
So YouTube's good for information, but it's like when you're actually going through the business, it's like having a coach is gonna help you out a lot.
Like you're there instant. You know, YouTube, like you have to.
You can't ask someone a question like, "Hey, can I get on a call with you?"
Exactly.
What is some of your future goals with doing Airbnb? And do you see yourself like getting into other parts of real estate now that you've like learned the arbitrage game?
I do want to get into. I want to buy a property. I want to think long term because obviously all of our properties we're renting and then, subleasing. I do want to get into property, you know, get my name with a property, maybe buy a property, hopefully within the next year, use my Airbnb profits and try to get into a property. So that's kind of my goal. But right now, like I said, October, I'm going to be hitting 40K rev. So I want to get to at least 100K a month, which I think I could do.
It's possible. It's just, it'll take some more time, but it's doable. Because once you know what you're doing in this game, you're simply rinsing and repeating the same process. So it's like very easy to scale as long as you have like the capital to back stuff up. So of course you guys might be thinking, looking at this like, yo, how did you get 4 properties in the first like 2 months? You didn't do that with your personal money, right?
I did not.
So tell them about like, what did you leverage in order to have the money to get properties?
So I luckily have pretty good credit.
Which is important. So for those that don't have good credit, focus on fixing your credit. Because personal credit's important.
Yeah, credit's huge.
It's the biggest leverage in the US.
Yeah, 100%. So you connected me with a banker. We opened up an LLC, biggest thing. And then we applied for a business credit card, 0% for 12 months. And with your banker's help, we got approved for...
You got approved for like 40,000, right?
Yeah, around 40, I think it was.
Yeah, so that 40,000 is like what you used to pretty much get your first like few properties.
Get into my properties, yep. So one thing is that it's very important to have a primary source of income. Well, it's what I think.
Yep.
I think you need a primary source of income because if you're trying to scale pretty quick, I use my primary source of income to pay off the credit card, which you don't have to do. You can use your Airbnb profits to pay it off, but for me, I want to continue to scale at a pretty quick level, so I use my primary income to pay off those credit cards just so the credit cards are available and I can get into more properties, and it's just rinse and repeat. Anyone
that's watching that's thinking about getting into Airbnb, that wants to learn how to make some additional money through the arbitrage method, make sure that you guys follow me on my Instagram. Is Azim Danish. Tell them your Instagram, that way people can like connect with you.
Yeah, if you guys have questions, if you're thinking about taking this course and you have questions, you can reach out to me. My Instagram is Sikandar23. I'm here to answer any questions because I got into this game and it's been 9 months, but it's flew by. But it's like we've been through a lot in the past 9 months, but I 100% recommend his course. He walks you through everything. He's been in the game for 3 years, and the best time to get into this is now. So
the biggest thing with starting any business, there's no perfect time. Like you get started, and then you just figure things out the way you go through the failures. You get the coaching and mentorship if you need it. That like shortens your whole learning curve basically.
100%.
If you guys ever think about it, make sure you guys follow both of us. Stay connected. If you have questions, make sure you ask the questions in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and we're gonna also show you guys his card that he got.